clear communication, but choking a little bit one-to-one. And so we try to make that as easy as possible. Now, this is very much in line for Japan, where we probably need a lot of guidelines, because people are very, they haven't been taught how to have any relationships really. So we're starting from ground zero. We take them through a series of 6 steps, which is how to have friends, how to have special friends or show a special interest in someone, how to actually take someone on the first date, how to actually go steady, engagement, and then preparation for marriage. So 6 steps. We talk about all those steps. My lovely wife Viv has just written a book called The Red Book. No, not from Mao Zedong, it's from Japan. And it is cultural to Japan, but I think there are principles in there that help people take through the steps of healthy Christian relationships. And during that time, some people discover that maybe this is not the person they'd like to be married to, and they can back out with grace and with self-esteem over that relationship and find another person who is going to be maybe the person that God has for them, or certainly discovering about themselves and the other person in a clear, easy way. Sometimes young people want to go from the beginning to the end very, very quickly. Hello, what's your name? Do you want to get married? Maybe not, but sometimes it skips some steps that will show you whether this person is actually going to be a great person for the rest of your life or not. So number 1 step is friendship, and that's obviously guy, girl, guy. It's just friendship. It's just being able to ask questions, being able to engage people outside yourself, being able to take an interest in somebody else in a relaxed and easy way. That's more difficult than it sounds for a lot of people. And so we talk a lot about how to make friends, how to ask questions, how to be normal, how not to get too intense right at the beginning. The second step is special friends, where it's obvious there's some attraction, there's a bit of chemistry. This is now boy-girl, all right, and girl-boy. But at this point, there is attraction and there's more questions, which probably to do with the areas of life goals and giftings and personal likes and dislikes and discovery. It's about discovery, but not yet taking that person out. I feel this is probably the most missed point of all of them, because a lot of people, if they just took the time to ask questions at that point, would discover you're on completely different trajectories in life. Or maybe this person is very different than I thought. And that's not a bad thing, it's just discovery. So I think we help them in the special friends, just taking notice, asking questions. A lot of Facebook stuff happens at that time, but we say at that point there's no commitment, and it's just discovery. Number 3, we call it tea time in Japan, where there's lots of tea or coffee time. We also call it one-on-one, although that sounds a bit strange to some people. But the point is, it's the first time you're actually with them in a coffee shop. And we say, don't make it a big deal. Don't make it a big dinner at the most expensive place in town and make it really awkward. Just take someone out to lunch. Just actually do it. Just invite someone. Now, obviously, we don't want people to do this, a new person every day. It's not like a speed dating where you two are the only speed daters. It's not like that. But it is about, again, discovery on a one-on-one situation. Yes, there's interest. I'm interested in you. But we have 2 rules at this point, which is no touch, no commitment. For the guys, no touch. We say if you touch her on the hand or put your arm around her, you've just inflamed the whole thing. You just moved it faster than maybe the natural state. For her, we say no commitment. If the guy asks you for a coffee or a tea, it doesn't mean that you're boyfriend, girlfriend. And if you think you have him and talk that way to the other girls, he will run away. So we're trying to just make it, again, discovery, enjoyment, at a right pace. That could be fast. That could be a very fast process. It could be 1 week or it could be a few months. But it's not multiple people. It is actually investigating a person. Number 4, going steady, we call it. As soon as we say going steady, we say you've got to declare your boyfriend, girlfriend. No secrets. No saying to some people, oh, she's my girlfriend, but in public, not. No, it's a declaration that I care for this person. She cares for me. We have an agreement. At that point, there is commitment and there is touch. And so we say at that point, now that there is touch, you've got to have boundaries. So we talk about the Christian life, and you don't want to sleep with that person before you're married, and you need to have boundaries. The old saying, it's better to have a fence at the top of the cliff than an ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. So again, for Japan, maybe it's a bit tighter than some other places in the world, but we feel it actually really works really well to have strong reciprocal boundaries, biblical boundaries from that point. Moving towards the fifth step, which is engagement. Obviously, there is some further discussion on a number of commitment and life goals, but people do break up at that time, and if they do break up and there's been a good process and been boundaries, people are still friends. Maybe not friends for the rest of their life, but there is a good feeling in the youth group, in the people. There's not a breaking of relationship and a bad feeling, and it gives people a chance to get out as well, which is a pretty sad thing to say, but actually some Christians feel maybe trapped at that point. But if we have a good process, there is a way to end a relationship. And I said to someone last week, if you're man enough to start a relationship, then you need to be man enough to finish that relationship. That person was saying to me they felt it was over, and I said, just got to say it's over. And I know that relationship, when it finishes, they will still have some level of friendship or respect for each other, which is awesome. So the fifth step is engagement, and I say to the young people, as a guideline, not as a rule, I don't think you should be engaged for more than 5 months, because temptation is just too much. It gets hot, and we really want to cross the line in Christian values. And we say to people, get the full reward of marriage, get the full reward of wonderful sexual relationship in marriage by holding off now. And I know that with some Asian cultures, they say they're going to be engaged for 5 years, or we're going to get a house before we get engaged. And we would address that and say, well, let's talk about finances, and is there any other way around this? Because really, that's just pushing the envelope with temptation too much. Let's do this differently as Christians. So we talk about engagement. I'll obviously help them through that process with family issues, with budget issues. We go through a budget with them where maybe they can cut down on some things. And living in Japan, there are some big item issues such as the wedding dress and the reception place, and we can help cut down dramatically. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars, so that they can bring in, if it's a money issue, they can bring in the marriage date. So we're very practical, is what I'm trying to say. And then marriage, we go through a marriage preparation, 6 weeks with the young couple, not with Viv and I, with the young couple like them. We mix and match to make it similar age, stage, whatever, take them through. And the last one is on sexuality and marriage, and it's pretty raw. It's pretty like, whoa, really? You talk about this stuff, eh? And we do. We don't talk about it after the marriage unless they want counselling, but we do talk about it before the marriage. And we feel that the sexual relationship in marriage is one of the most important things, absolutely, for the continual abundance or overflow of a great marriage. Of course, there's ups and downs through marriage, but we do talk about that too, through the childbirth and through difficult times. But getting back to a healthy sexual relationship is a very important part in Japan, where there are so many sexless marriages, the most sexless marriages in the world. So we have to address it. And the good news is, we've done 30, 40 marriages in the last couple of years, and our young Japanese couples are totally in love. They have a healthy respect for each other. They are prioritizing each other over their workplace. They work hard, but there's respect. And in other words, the outcome of this process is exceptionally good. And just as a footnote or as an end note to this, I believe that we're going to have so many good marriages in Jesus Lifehouse Japan that the media will eventually come to us and say, what are you doing? What are you doing right? This is amazing. You've blessed Japan. You've blessed the young marriages. And then, of course, there's a lot of stuff on parenting we have to do too. But I do believe this is a major good news for Japan.